chest now. I'm free. Can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. It's my time. It's my time to ride it. I'm young. I'm free. Can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. It's my time. It's my time to ride it out. It's your time. Oh. Cheers to all the haters, cause you proved to me that rising to the top was my destiny. And you can see whatever from behind me,
But I'm still fly. I'm still fly. I know. What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Onyx here. You know I always got to get fly before it starts. What's happening? Let me go ahead and fade this music out. Whoa. Anyway, what's happening, everybody? I'm still fly. It's Sunday, 6 p.m. Time to crack open your adult beverage of choice and listen to the podcast recording or record live with your boy Onyx here going full nerd. So, man, what a week, what a week. I don't know. I've just been tired. You know, the news has just made me exhausted, pooped, tired. So I'm doing my best to kind of hang in there. I hydrate, take my vitamins, take my meds, and I enjoy my one alcoholic beverage per week on Sunday. So let's take a nice sip of the cold one before we get to the shameless plugs, all right? All right, there we go. There we go. So check this out, folks. As we're going to start out every week, we do the shameless plug. Shameless plug goes like this. Please check out the website goingfullnerd.com, where you could check out, some news from comic book companies, from publishers, some press releases and things like that. I know I haven't been real good at updating it, but stuff has been coming through real slow since, a lot of people have been working remotely, but it is what it is. It is what it is. But you can also check out the podcast. Yes, the podcast. You can check it out on his home, anchor.fm/goingfullnerd. Or you can check it out on his other homes, such as Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music. Yes, Amazon Music. Your boy made it. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you consume your podcast listening pleasure. In addition, you can check out, you see it scrolling across the bottom, goingfullnerd.stream. I take cash too. You can donate directly to the channel. It'll actually show up on screen if I'm live streaming at the time. And you can also check out some of my video gameplay, which I've been putting up on twitch.tv/goingfullnerd. I've been playing Madden, NFL season for my Giants been looking real bad, looking real suspect. So I got to at least try to have a fighting chance in the video game world. It is what it is. It is what it is. Did I get through everything other than you can call in 202-643-4208. Leave a message. We may or may not play it on air depending on the kind of language you use, because I'm the only one that can use foul language. And if you want to go ahead, I'm on Twitter. And that's following me at Onyx1969. So here we go. You see the title of this week. I got new lights in the back. I just wanted to jazz it up a little bit, maybe, hypnotize more people into watching the channel. Ooh. Anyway, I'm out of control. But check this out. I'm not what you call a Trekkie. I'm not a Trekkie, okay? But I love some science fiction. And I followed Star Trek for a long time. Platinum Locks. I've been around for a minute. So I'm not your traditional Star Trek person, okay? I like the original series, flaws and all. Captain Kirk, the ladies' man, doing his thing. I personally like Deep Space Nine. Captain Sisko, Yeah, Captain Sisko. Y'all know about Captain Sisko. That was like the coolest Star Trek captain ever. Ever. But anyway, let's go. So we're going to talk this week about Lower Decks. Okay. Lower Decks is unlike any Star Trek series or movie. It's connected to everything, but it's bending the limits of the Star Trek universe. But we're going to get to that. And, right after we talk about a couple of other nerdy subjects that crossed my viewing path this week. I'm sorry if I'm tapping the mic and things like that. But anyway, I'd like to shout out. Thanks a lot, Omar, Low Cuts. Glad to see you guys in here. And as always, we ask everybody that watches, whether you choose to chat or not, hit the thumbs up, hit the like button so I know that you are here. So let's start off with last week's poll results. So I put a poll up last week, and it was, how do you feel about character ethnicity changes in live-action comic book films? Well, from the results, it really doesn't work for anyone. I mean, pretty much the vote was either who cares or it doesn't work for me. All right, now, here's the thing. My initial reaction, I kind of said it on Twitter, if you follow me there, it's trying to silence those individuals complaining about representation in Hollywood. It is what it is. People feel that if they cast more African American actors, more Asian actors, more, Indian actors, Hispanic actors, actors of whatever nationality, ethnicity, into roles that were traditionally played by Caucasians, that they're satisfying somebody. Okay? Now, my old friend Omar, okay, there's a quote from his tweet response that I've got to say, and it actually fits. And that is, let the casting have some sort of meaning. Don't change existing characters just for the sake of changing them. Things like happened with the Golden Age Green Lantern. They made him part of LGBTQ, Iceman, Beast, things like that. They did that in the comic books. In the movies, they changed some genders, some ethnicities, and people were in an uproar, but I don't think they were in an uproar for the right reasons. It's not so much changing the ethnicity of something that has been portrayed for a long time. They're all comic book characters, so it's all fantasy. Doesn't really matter much. But there are so many characters of a minority, so many minority characters. Why aren't they getting the representation or getting their time to shine in the spotlight? They're relegated to sidekicks and such. So that ends up being a segue into my next two things I'm going to talk about, which is number one, Jamie Foxx. Let's talk Jamie Foxx. Must be the goose, whatever, Jamie Foxx, Wanda, Jamie Foxx. All right, if your spidey senses are tingling, well, they should be. Basically, October 1st, Hollywood Reporter put out there that Jamie Foxx, who played Spider-Man's enemy Electro in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, the second movie, the one with Andrew Garfield, may or is making his return back to the Spider-Man franchise. Wow. Let me say this again. Wow. So that's a shock to my system. He played Electro, and he played a very sad Electro in Amazing Spider-Man 2. But this is a big news reveal for Marvel Cinematic Universe, considering, Spider-Man's evolution over the years. You went from Tobey Maguire to Andrew Garfield. Now you got Tom Holland, and they've had a lot of shakeups with the cast and stuff like that. But to bring Jamie Foxx back as Electro, and not knowing if they're going to try to go the same route, the blue-skinned, looking like Dr. Manhattan Electro, or are they going to go something, since the MCU likes to pay homage to the comic books, they usually try to get the comic book accurate look. So hopefully that works out. But, it is what it is. Hopefully we get something good. Maybe it's a live action Spider-Verse thing getting ready to happen. Don't know. We had J.K. Simmons, who was J. Jonah Jameson in the previous Spider-Man series, starring as J. Jonah Jameson in the last Spider-Man, Far From Home. So we might be getting some cool stuff like that. I don't know. Never know. But, hey, Jamie Foxx, man, it is what it is. I mean, we can't just get an unknown actor. Jamie Foxx did it, Electro, and traditionally not a brother in the comics, but, we got to get star power, I guess. I don't know. It is what it is. Okay? You let me know how y'all think about that. Jamie Foxx, Electro, again. Yeah, okay. All right. Let's go. Now let's talk about something else. Let's talk about minority representation. So we got newcomer Iman Vellani. I hope I am pronouncing this young lady's name correctly. So she is now rumored to play the title role in Marvel's Ms. Marvel series for Disney Plus. Now, Ms. Marvel is getting a lot of big hype since the release of the Avengers video game. They did a long, hard search, and they say they found their Ms. Marvel. And now I'm not talking old school Carol Danvers Ms. Marvel with the sash from the 70s showing the thigh with the high cut, Brazilian cut superhero suit with the chipachangas hanging out. No, I'm talking about the Pakistani American teen-based hero out of New Jersey. Yes, Ms. Marvel. Okay, she first appeared in 2014. She was one of the first Muslim represented superheroes. That's pretty cool. They gave her a legacy name. It is what it is. They did the same thing over in DC Comics with Simon Baz as the Muslim Green Lantern. Okay, I get it. You got to interject them where you can, but she is an all new, all different hero. So the word is Marvel Studios chief Kevin Feige. He said that in addition to her appearing in this Disney Plus series, she will be included in future Marvel Cinematic Universe films. So are we going to get new Avengers, the Young Avengers? Are we going to, it looks like they're leading up to it. I mean, you've got Scott Lang's daughter grown up, could end up being Stature. And there are different changes to the cinematic universe. It deviates from the comic books, different parallel worlds. It is what it is. So that's just something to think about. But Kamala Khan is going to make it to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I remember a few years back, I was at New York Comic Con, and there was a young lady who had cosplayed. This was around 2014. And the young lady cosplayed as Ms. Marvel, Kamala Khan, and people were looking at her crazy. She had the superhero hijab and everything. Hey, don't hate on creativity, folks. Don't hate on creativity. They had a need, they filled it, they did it. The world's not going to end, okay? Just because superheroes are starting to look different. It's not going to be out of control because superheroes are going to be, not the traditional stereotypical trope. We watch The Boys and we see that takes the stereotype to another level. But the thing about it is let's see where it goes. If they really want to impress me, not so much Marvel, but Warner Brothers, we need to bring the milestone characters to live action. Let me get some Icon. Let me get some Static. Let me get some Hardware. Let me get some Shadow Cabinet. Let's get all that on film. Hopefully somebody says that. It is what it is. And, let's get some more of these young up and coming writers putting their stuff out there. Let's get them on the streaming services. Let's get them when the movie theaters open back up. That'll be something pretty damn awesome. Psst. Yeah. Anyway, let's get to it. So here's the thing. I've been checking out Lower Decks, Star Trek Lower Decks. Okay. Now here's the thing. This is the main focus of our show today, Lower Decks. Let me take a sip. Eventually, I'm either get, sponsored by the alcohol companies that I'll be drinking their stuff, Or somebody will give me a sponsorship one of these days. Go figure. All right. So Lower Decks is an expansion of the Star Trek franchise. And, for a lot of people, Trekkies, I know I've seen them at conventions. I've been out to Vegas before the Star Trek experience closed. I watched them on the internet. These are a serious bunch. They be ready to throw down with the Star Wars crew, the whole nine. Okay. Now, this is the thing. Lower Decks, Star Trek Lower Decks, it is the first animated Star Trek series um, that is created for CBS's streaming network. It is the first animated Star Trek series since the 1973-74 series Star Trek, the animated series, which had the original voices of Leonard Nimoy, DeForest Kelly, William Shatner, and all that good stuff. So here's the thing. Lower Decks follows not your traditional crews, not your Deep Space Nine, not your Next Generation, not your Voyager, not the old school, but it follows the support crew. Okay, we're talking about not the main characters, not your captain, not your first officer, not your medical officer, not the big wigs that work on the bridge. We talking about the dudes in the red shirts that may not make it back if they beam down on an away team. It follows that crew. Okay. You know, if you think about it, we've had about 6 decades. That's a long time. Because Star Trek been around before your boy was born. And I got the Platinum Super Saiyan God mode locks. And I could tell you that Star Trek been around for a minute. So here's the deal. It's been around for about 6 decades. You had series, movies, and it always talks about the heroic actions of bridge officers, chief scientists, chief engineers, the main people you can't do without. Lower Decks talks about, like I said, those red shirts, those ensigns, those guys running around when this camera's shaking. They're the ones in the background freaking out. They're the ones that don't make it when there's a hull breach. They're following this crew. Okay, so, but we got the main set of heroes of these third tier characters. Okay, hold on now. You got Boimler, voiced by Jack Quaid. Boimler, he's like straight to the point. He's a dude. He's like the ultimate kiss ass. All right. He wants to be that guy on the bridge. All right. Then you got Mariner, who basically says, "To heck with the rules. I don't care. This is just, we're here. They're doing this, but what does it matter?" Okay. She's got a problem because her mom is the captain of the ship, and that's always some drama. So, she's been demoted like 8 million times. I literally watched the episode where they had somebody she went through Starfleet Academy with who was a captain, and she's still an ensign. So it is what it is with that. Then you've got other people, they got inferiority complexes, the ship does things like second contact. All right. We all know what first contact is. Like the Enterprise did it. Everybody, we meet the first, signs of life somewhere. We meet this race we've explored. Cerritos and this crew, they do second contact. They come with the paperwork. They the admin guys. Kirk and them, Janeway, all the rest of them, they've already crossed the T's, dot the I's. They're like, all right, Starfleet's coming. We're going to, share technology. We're going to do these things with you. And then Cerritos comes up and is like, yo, sign here, sign here, sign here. Yo, you want this? You want this? Oops, I dropped this. Oops, my bad. That type of stuff. But it is what it is. So, here's the thing. Each episode, there's going to be 10 episodes in the first season. I think I'm on episode 9. It's got a season finale coming up. But here's the thing. I'm not going to go ahead and spoil it for you. But, it has remnant thoughts of Rick and Morty. Boimler reminds me a lot of Morty. Boimler is like the guy that's just stuck in, he wants to do the right things. He thinks he's doing the right things. But he's just so much of a straight-laced fool. And then you've got the ultimate screw up, and she seems to like Boimler. You got all these little intermittent stories and things like that. But the bottom line is, it's funny as hell. They reference a lot of old school Star Trek. They talk about Spock. They talk about Kirk. They talk about Deep Space Nine. They've name dropped Sisko. They've had some guest stars. They had, what's his name, Delancey, who played Q in The Next Generation. They talked about Picard. All this cool stuff. And the show is canon. The show is treated as Star Trek canon. So it is part of the Star Trek history. They reference Next Generation a hell of a lot. They've got their uniforms from the Next Generation. So that's kind of how it goes with that. But here's the thing. This is adult animation. It is not made for kids. I know I had a couple of times I had to pause it and look at my grandson and be like, yo, nah, player, you can't watch. This is not for you. I had to do that a couple of times. Now, here's the thing. With those jokes like he's got wood. Ooh, man. References to all sorts of stuff. It's they reference the movies. They talked about how ridiculous the movies are. These are pretty good. Now, here's the thing. I really think that the showrunners, Star Trek, and all of them really caught the ass at Seth MacFarlane's The Orville. The Orville, to me, was the best Star Trek out there because it was funny, it was realistic, but this is this to me is an animated Orville. And the thing about it is, I can see where probably, Gene Roddenberry is probably turning over in his grave at this, but I think it was well needed to take some of the edge and take some of the seriousness out of the Star Trek fan base. I mean, sometimes you just got to let it go, folks. Sometimes you just can't clown. If you can't clown yourself, then there's no reason in existing. If you take it too damn serious, it's not worth it. Okay? So, the thing about it, I'm not going to rate it. I'm going to say check it out. Find a way to watch it. You can get it on CBS All Access or what is it, Paramount Plus as CBS's streaming service. Don't ask me how I saw it. I used alternate means. I can't talk about it because I don't have a sponsor. So, it is what it is. They pay me, I'll talk about how I watch it. But here's the deal. The show is a great fill-in until I see the Orville show up. I haven't checked any news about the Orville. I think they're coming back or they're going straight to streaming. I'm not sure how that works out. COVID has messed up all the production schedules and screwed everything up that I want to see and I want to hear. But it's a great fill-in as I await the fate of the funniest Star Trek satire, the Orville, to come back. But that's pretty much it. Check out Lower Decks. It's kind of chill. It's worth checking out. It is what it is. But check this out, everybody. Here goes the thing. Before I, depart you for the day, please, I do like getting the questions. I do like getting all of the comments and suggestions. So please keep sending them out there. Let me know what you think, what you want to talk about. I'm going to start doing some more motivational, some just general stuff that I'm going to post during the week. I am going to get to it. I promise myself I'm going to do it, and I'm going to hold myself to it. Now, a lot of you may be fans of the series. I heard you a fan. I see the comments. You're a fan of the series, low cut, but not the movies. You got to watch all of it to see how ridiculous it is when it comes to Star Trek. The newer movies, I'm not. They don't even reference the brand new movies, But the new movies were kind of chill. I like the new movies, but they're not going to make it. The new movies are not going to make it. Sorry about that. I got a time constraint with some of the camera work and all that good stuff. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So, pretty much everybody, that's it. We're about to hit the funky outro music. But like I say, send your comments, suggestions. I've got some cool stuff that I got in the mail from an old school army buddy. And what I found out is he wrote a book. He actually wrote a comic book series that it's not really a comic book. It's a sci-fi superhero-ish series. He sent me 2 copies. I'm gonna read it. I gotta finish reading it. It looks pretty cool. I'm gonna go ahead and review it. Well, not so much review it. I'm gonna go ahead, discuss it, and I'm gonna see if I could get him to talk about it live and go back and forth and kind of talk about his journey, because he's got a pretty cool journey that led him to write this that I think is motivational for a lot of people, and I want to kind of get his story out there. You know, I've known this dude not as long as I've known Omar and some of you cats, but I've known him, you know, well over 20 plus years. So it's something that, you know, we just recently got back in touch. So I'm going to try to reach out to him. I'm not going to name drop it. I'll post a video once I get his permission and talk to him and all that good stuff. Anyway, let me hit this funky outro music. And remember, if you can't say something nice about anybody, people, don't say it at all. Send me a direct message on Twitter. I'll say it for you. Anyway, stay safe, stay clean, and let's get this music going.
Everybody smoking all the greenery. Close the match 'cause they were handed down to me. But I'm still fly, I know. I'm still fly, let's go. It could all be worse, I could be a hater like you. It could all be worse. Clothes that make the man, but that
Okay, so you guys are talking about I gotta peep out Utopia. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff I gotta really check out. I still haven't finished watching Lucifer on Netflix. You know, I actually started watching the Jurassic Park kiddie cartoon, Camp Cretaceous. You know, I find it real funny as hell that they made a kids cartoon about dinosaurs getting loose and possibly eating kids. Go figure, you know? It is what it is. But anyway, hey, glad to see each and every one of y'all. Make sure you wear your mask. That's right, wear your mask. We don't want to be out there getting rushed out in the middle of the night, having to fly in nerd to Walter Reed, Bethesda Medical, you know, just so they could do some experimental stuff on you. But anyway, let me go ahead and sign out on you. Peace, y'all, and I'm out of here. Cause I'm still fly, I know.
I'm still fly.